I'm Abby Turpin, Director of Communications for Keep America Beautiful. As legislation to improve recycling for America's rural communities is considered by Congress, Keep America Beautiful is highlighting rural recycling efforts and programs within the Keep America Beautiful affiliate network. The Hub and Spoke program is based on the Keep America Beautiful model for change. And that model is making a difference in the state of Nebraska. Joining me right now is Chris Vail, Executive Director of Keep Keith County Beautiful in Nebraska. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, so if you would, go ahead and give the basics of a Hub and Spoke program.
A Hub and Spoke program is essentially a logistics system. It is creating opportunities for smaller entities to tie into a large entity. It's very cost effective. It allows collaboration, and people can share costs in Hub and Spoke, which is why it works really, really well in the recycling business. Keep America Beautiful actually has fostered this idea through many different areas in education about Hub and Spoke. And so when we saw the opportunity that it could exist here in Western Nebraska, our biggest issue is we're so far apart, and transportation costs oftentimes eliminate our ability to be effective and to save costs. So we saw a real good opportunity to start a Hub and Spoke program here in 2016. So we're 6 years into it, and we have about 25 communities that participate in it. And coupled with the Hub and Spoke, we also have education that goes out to those spokes. So that's how we can continue to make sure it's updated, new, fresh, and people are doing the recycling right.
Very nice. So tell us a little bit more about why this was so important to bring into this particular area, because I think that that's really the most important part about rural recycling right now.
We're very fortunate here in the state of Nebraska because we have a Department of Environment and Energy that funds grants for recycling, for business development. So for the past 6 years, I've written grants to this department to fund our transportation. And it gives our MRF, which collects all of our materials, the opportunity not to worry that they can't afford to move the materials, because we get to control it through our grants.
Very nice. So obviously there's a lot of moving parts to make all of this happen. Tell us more about the KAB affiliates that are all involved.
Well, the best part of this whole story is we were having a Western Nebraska Regional Directors meeting, and it was here in Ogallala, and we had just built a new recycling center, brand new. It took $5 million for a bunch of people to put it together. They had extra money. They had sold a recycling center. So they decided what we're going to do is we're going to put a household recycling center in this community to benefit all of Western Nebraska. The directors got together and said, how do we do this? So we worked with the recycling center that is also a 501c3 nonprofit to create this Hub and Spoke in Western Nebraska. And because we're collaborating, none of us are looking for, oh, I'm in charge of this. We all do it together. And there's one particular person that is in he's in Kimball. His name is Spud Rowley, and he is the director of Keep Kimball Beautiful. He gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. He'll drive to Alliance, pick up the recycling there, take it to Ogallala, which now it's like about 10 o'clock in the morning, drives up to Thedford, bales, collects, moves. And then the next morning, all day long, Sunday he does this. Monday morning, he brings all that recycling back to Ogallala and then heads down to Omaha. So because of his passion and his ability, because then he bought a truck and then he bought a trailer. So we've seen infrastructure being created through grant opportunities also.
Very nice. Well, thank you to him. And of course, thank you to everybody that's involved with this. Obviously, you've said the word together so many times, and that right there says it all. It's a teamwork. That's what makes all of this happen. It's obviously very effective in Western Nebraska. Tell me a little bit more about the reaction that you're seeing from people in the community because of these programs.
Well, one of the things about recycling that I think a lot of people are very skeptical or hesitant to get into it so much because it might go away. Because we've been doing this for 6 years now, there is a true standing that we're doing this and we're doing it right.
The Recycling Infrastructure and Accessibility Act of 2022 has been passed by the Senate. It now sits with the House, and it would establish a pilot rural recycling program at the EPA. So tell us a little bit more what your hope is when it comes to rural recycling opportunities in the future.
Rural recycling is very unique because as we live in rural areas, we still want the same benefits that they have in the urban and suburban areas. And so offering this up to people, you will see they will actively use it. I see rural recycling as the stepping stone to our future sustainability, because it's not just recycling that we're going to do. We also need to look at circular economies, how the local impacts can happen with things. But we also want to find future leaders for recycling. When they grow up in these little towns and the first day they go to school and they're taught to recycle in kindergarten, by the time they graduate from college, it is a lifestyle habit. Doesn't matter where they go, what they do, they will be passionate about recycling.
Well, Chris, before we go, I do want to say congratulations to you and everyone involved with Keep Keith County Beautiful for winning the Commonwealth Award at the annual Nebraska Recycling Conference this year. So congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. We are very honored and I appreciated it so much.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Abby.